Hi, I'm Bran, and this is your mission if you choose to accept it. I love Mission Impossible movies.
I've accepted my mission, and I like Mission Impossible.
What's your name?
And I'm Ryan.
I'm Dan. I also love Mission Impossible, and this is the Ding Dong Hallmark
That's the Hallmark. It's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host this podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
We have 8 weeks to flesh that out.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get
Now,
there.
a lot of
It was
people-
right. It was good, but I think we could turn it up. It was an 8. I think we could get it to a 10.
A lot of people are saying, why did you start this today? It's Memorial Day.
Happy
Memorial
Memorial
Day.
Day.
Happy
Yeah.
Memorial Day. Couldn't you have just waited until June?
We could have, but Mission Impossible premiered last Friday.
That's right. We wanted to capitalize on that by reviewing the first one.
Reviewing
and
the first
taking
one.
8 weeks until we get to the
That's
new
right.
one.
That's
If
right.
you squint, it makes sense.
Now let's do this.
Yeah.
Will it still be in theaters? By the time our episode comes out in 8 weeks?
No, 8 weeks? No way.
I doubt it. I was looking at showtimes for next week for Sinners, and Sinners is already out of a lot of smaller
And that
cineplexes,
movie's
so
gone like
Yeah.
gangbusters.
How many
So
weeks
I
has
have a
Sinners
bad
been in
feeling no.
theaters?
It was out March 18th. So it's been out 2 months. That would be the run that Mission Impossible need. And considering how you got
close.
Superman coming out,
Yeah.
How to Train Your Dragon coming out, there's just no way with all of what's coming. There's no way to do it. I will say I'm already getting an early start on my Furious Wars Impossible list.
Yes.
Where I'm combining
forgot.
all the Fast and Furious, Star Wars.
No, we're not
and
doing
Mission
that
Impossible.
until after we've done them all. And then
No,
we
that'd
do
be
That's
a
the finale,
special.
right?
That's a special episode.
That's
That's
a
its
special-
own
Oh, that's
episode.
not. Yeah, it's an
It's
okay.
a
Yeah,
ranking
yeah, it's on
episode.
tape. That's right.
It's a ranking episode. For this, we'll just be, we'll put the missions in.
29 movies.
Which, by the
total for
way,
Furious
I-
Wars
I-
Impossible.
We haven't shared our hot takes. We haven't done anything. I'm going to go ahead and say this. Mission Impossible 1, as of right now, my favorite Mission Impossible.
Wow.
Wow.
Bold.
Some people are saying that I'm the bold boy.
You're a bold
That's
boy.
what they're saying.
That's what they're
now
saying.
let's
Boy
address
brand.
the elephant in the room.
That's not in the room, actually.
That's not in the room.
That's right.
What happened?
Right, guy.
Where-
We had a whole thing. You
Sure,
were going to
yeah.
be here.
Cletus was good as Cletus. He said he was good for it.
Said it was good for it.
I don't like to let the audience down. I believe at this point, 2.5 years, and people know that about me. As best I understand it, and maybe you guys can flesh this
Sure.
out for me a little bit.
Sure.
Cletus, Cletus may have literally gotten his wires.
That's a lie from the pit of hell right there.
Well,
Is what that is.
Oh,
okay.
he's on
you
the
think,
line.
You think you can come down here with all these shirts and you think this is some Hoot-Toad nanny? Is that what you think?
No, the
Just
problem-
be honest.
Cletus, the deal was I came with less shirts.
That was the whole
you
thing.
You shut it down, Big Beard. Listen to me very carefully. I said 2 shirts, 3 maximum.
Whose finger was that just entered the shop?
You 2 shirts, 3 maximum.
Okay.
I just want an honest answer from you, right guy. You think this is some Hoot-Toad nanny? Do you
No,
think that?
listen,
Be
Cletus,
honest. Just say it
Cletus.
out loud. Is it a Hoot-Toad nanny?
Cletus.
What are you saying? Hold on. What's the word?
Hoot-Toad nanny.
Hoot-toad nanny?
Hoot.
Hoot?
Not who
Toad.
toad nanny.
Toad?
Nanny.
Nanny.
Do you
not a
think
question.
it's some big song and dance? You think this is a joke?
Cletus, I had one shirt.
I wired you good money on
Well,
Western
that-
Union, and then my people said, I see 7 shirts in the bag. I had people, they said there's 7 shirts in the bag. I said, he can't go. He thinks it's a Hoot-Toad nanny.
Who are your people, Cletus, and how are they aware of my
You
packing
think it's,
habits?
we're getting off track now. You think it's a Hoot-Toad nanny, and it's not a Hoot-Toad nanny.
Well, Ryan was telling us that he never got the money, Cletus.
You think you're coming
Yeah.
down here to sing a song? You think it's about singing a song?
Dun, dun,
No.
dun, dun,
Don't you do it.
Dun. Come on, Cletus. Dun,
This is
dun,
important.
Dun,
This is
dun,
important
Cletus, come on.
stuff.
Come on,
Cletus.
Cletus.
Dun, dun.
Dun, 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 dun. I'm
Ooh,
partial.
Cletus, that was the Mission Impossible 2
I'm
heavy
partial.
metal
I'm partial to
version.
the biscuit. I'm
You
partial to
would-
the
you
biscuit.
would be.
partial
Now-
to the biscuit. I said it.
Let's-
Both biscuits to eat and the limp ones.
What does Ryan need to do to make
I
sure
think
that
it's
he gets
beyond.
down
I
there
think
for
it's
2?
beyond repair. To be quite
What
frank
What about
with
next
you.
week?
no.
No, we
Let's-
have a week
Frank
to
with
figure
you.
this out. Cletus, should I just pay for my own ticket?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I'll say this. Listen, if you can't trust somebody wiring Western Union money to not bring more than 3 shirts, then there's a problem.
It's just very specific.
Cletus, can we talk about
Hey,
this offline?
we can talk.
maybe?
We can talk. But here's what you need to know. And you need to know this right
Yeah.
now. If I get a hint, a glimmer, a sniff of Hoot-Toad nanny, you can believe there's going to be a problem, and you're going to be
All right.
keeping your behind right there in Yankeeville. That's what I can tell you right now.
if I can make
you
it-
won't see old Glory flying, not now, not ever.
So even if Ryan pays his own way, if you sniff any sort of
My people know.
hootenanny-
My people know.
What
They're
are you
gonna
gonna
see
do?
it.
How do
They're
you
gonna
stop
see
him?
it.
About this
My people
people
are gonna
situation.
know. My people are gonna know. That's all you need to
How
know.
can you stop him though if he pays his own way?
Listen, you can't promise Sirius and show up hootenanny.
All right.
You can't do it.
Sirius XM radio, Cletus?
You heard it. No. I ain't a fan of the devil's lettuce.
Shout out Sirius XM. All right, Cletus. We'll see what happens next week.
We'll catch you on the
Thanks,
flip.
Cletus.
All right.
Sort of.
I am a bit foggy on what's going to happen next week.
Yeah.
Are you the plan is for you to be here next week?
I'm foggy.
Well, listen, I was ready to pay my own way, but I would you consider what just happened, Dan? Especially you always lay out during those, which I respect. Like, would you consider that a threat from Cletus that if I pay my own way, I'm gonna get?
It certainly sounded ominous. I would say at the very least it sounded ominous. But from the time that Brand said Cletus last week, I knew that there could be some complications based purely upon who we were relying on to fund transportation and his very specific demands.
Yeah.
Right.
So
if we had to do it all over again, I probably should have just paid for one ticket and stayed to record all 8 Mission Impossibles.
Dude, now it would have been a fun week we could have had together. You could have driven it. You could have driven down.
You could have driven it.
Yeah.
I don't want to close any doors. Let's
keep it
see
open,
kind of
just
like
in case.
The ceiling is the roof.
Yeah, we'll keep
Ceiling's the
talking.
roof.
We'll
Yeah.
keep talking
Yeah.
to Cletus, and we'll try to, I don't know,
All right.
fix it.
Yeah.
Let's talk Mission: Impossible 1.
I'm fascinated at the folks that tuned in to a Deck the Hallmark episode just for a Mission Impossible review from 30 years ago that are now getting
7 minutes of
Cletus stuff. Yeah, that's
Some
the
are
real
saying not
those
long enough.
folks. Yeah,
Some are saying not long
That's
enough.
what I want to hear from.
Need more Cletus.
Yeah, need more Cletus.
All right, Mission Impossible 1
Apple
originally.
Podcast reviews already have 3 Need More Cletus reviews up.
And those don't normally update in real
No,
time.
they
so.
don't. It's unbelievable.
May 22nd, 1996. I don't have any information about where.
Cinema Lagoon.
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know. It just says May 22nd, 1996. I was 4.
You were 5.
You were 4.
You were 4.
Yeah.
4.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. We're May.
I was
yeah,
12.
I was 5.
I was 12.
All right.
This is the first PG-13 movie I ever saw in the theater.
Wow.
Wow.
And you weren't even 13 yet.
I
Wait a
wasn't.
second. That's Dan. That's
Yeah.
You shouldn't admit that on live radio.
Why
That's-
not?
You were 12.
Yeah,
I know,
I grew up
they're
in
gonna
a really
arrest you.
strict household. The only reason I got to go to that one is because my brother was 14 and my uncle was taking care of both of us. And he was like, it's fine. They'll be fine. So he took both of us. And that summer, Mission Impossible Twister Independence Day.
Wow.
So it was maybe the best blockbuster summer of the 1990s.
The 90s rule.
And I saw all 3 in the theaters. It was fantastic. Not mad about it.
And Space Jam starring the Looney Tunes, it came out right around the same time, right?
Featuring.
What's interesting about Space Jam is that they're playing themselves.
Well,
This
that's the
feature,
point,
yeah. In case you don't know about Space
feature.
Jam, they feature the
It's a
Looney
feature.
Tunes. That's
It's a very
exactly
meta film.
And one a little something like this. The movie kicks off with Coach Bombay. Speaking of 90s classics.
Quack.
Quack.
Quack, 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 quack.
Oh, ducks!
Working on a mission for the Impossible Missions Force, the IMF, if you will, and we will for the rest of this franchise. He's the guy in the chair while Agent Ethan Hunt is out on the field getting information, important information from a target and then killing him because sometimes you gotta. We then meet Jim Phillips, Ethan's boss at the IMF. He receives intel that Ethan Ethan retrieved. The team comes together to plan their next mission, and it's a big one. An agent named Alexander has gone rogue and plans to steal a list of undercover agents and sell them to the buyer so that list is just out there. The mission seems to be going according to plan. After Alexander puts the list on a floppy disk, shout out. I believe it was a 32 megabyte floppy. Everything goes south. The agents begin getting killed. First, Coach Bombay, let's take a second. And then Jim Phillips. And then Ethan's wife, Claire, she's dead. I'm sure we'll talk about her a ton. And then to make matters worse, when Ethan finds Alexander, he's already dead, and there's nothing in his pocket. Where did the floppy go? In a haze, Ethan contacts the IMF and ends up meeting with a director Eugene. Eugene explains that the entire mission was a decoy, if you will. Apparently, there's an arms dealer known as Max, and the operation to steal the list was a part of a mission called Job 314, or so we think. Everyone was supposed to die. That was the whole plan. And Eugene is suspicious of Ethan. One, he's alive, and two, $120,000 mysteriously appeared in Ethan's bank account, the family farm. It's bad. Realizing that he's in trouble, Ethan uses a piece of explosive gum, courtesy of Coach Bombay, shout out, never forgotten, to blow his way out and escape. Ethan starts doing some research and reads the Bible. He's having his quiet time, his QT, if you will, and he finds Job 3:14, and he begins sending coded emails to every email address he can think of that could go to Max. I don't know. Did he try HBO? He's shocked when Claire shows up alive. Apparently, Jim warned her just before his death that the mission was compromised, so she faked her own death to escape. Ethan eventually gets a reply from Max and is instructed where to meet. He's picked up in a car and taken to her. Turns out Max is a woman. Ethan tells her that the list that she has is a fake. She doesn't believe him, but he warns her that inserting it will trigger a tracking device. When it turns out that he's telling the truth, Ethan offers the real list in exchange for $10 million and the identity of the mole behind Job 3:14. Max agrees and gives Ethan $150,000 cash advance, wires it over. Those wires weren't crossed. And which he uses to assemble a team of blacklisted agents, including a computer expert, Luther, and a pilot named Franz. The new team begins planning an elaborate mission to break into the CIA at Langley. In an absolute iconic scene, Ethan is lowered from the ceiling to avoid pressure sensors and successfully steals the real list on a disc. Back at the safe house, Franz tries to take the disc, but Ethan pulls some sort of sleight of hand David Blaine stuff and confuses him, and so he just leaves. He's like, I can't handle this magic. He decides to trust Luther with the real disc, which is really interesting when the other person that was on your team turns out to be not the guy to trust, but I guess I'll just trust this other guy. Ethan learns that Eugene has arrested his parents. He calls him from a payphone after hanging up, sees Jim Phillips somehow still alive. Jim claims that Eugene is the mole. However, Ethan has already figured out that Jim is the traitor after realizing that the Bible that he used to look up Job was stolen from the Drake Hotel in Chicago, where Jim said that he was stationed right beforehand. So he took the Bible with him, which was nice. Ethan pretends to believe Jim and arranges a meeting with Max on the trains to exchange the list. On the train, Ethan tells Max the list is beneath her seat. And then she tells him where the money is stashed. Meanwhile, Luther jams the signal so that she can't upload the list to the server. Claire goes to collect her share of the money from Jim, but realizes too late that he's actually Ethan in disguise, and she has now admitted that she's a baddie. When the real Jim shows up and pulls a gun and take the money, Ethan streams? What? What does that mean? Basically, he exposes that Jim is the mole. That's what you need to know there. Jim kills Claire, climbs on the roof of the train.
You're so detailed to that point.
I know. And then it just fell off the roof there. Jim kills Claire, then climbs to the roof of the train, trying to escape in a helicopter piloted by our guy Franz. But Ethan also gets on the roof, hooks the chopper to the train, and forces it into a tunnel. Miraculously, it does not crash immediately. It actually does really well in the tunnel. Ethan jumps onto the helicopter and uses another piece of the explosive gum to blow it up. Of course, he survives the blast. Eugene arrives, he arrests Max and recovers the list. And Ethan and Luther are reinstated into the IMF, though Ethan isn't sure if he really wants to return. On the flight home, a flight attendant approaches him and covertly offers him a new mission, this time as team leader. And that, my friends, was Mission Impossible 1.
We did it.
We did do it. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll break it down. I think we're gonna break it down.
Okay, all right.
We'll break it down here on
Deck the Hallmark.
Hello, everybody. Happy Memorial Day. Happy Mission Monday to you. Hopefully, you're doing well. We're talking about Mission Impossible, the OG. It's time to share our thoughts on it. We're going to start with a hot take as we're share exactly how we felt about this movie. We do not hold back, and I will start with you, Rye Guy. What do you think? Mission Impossible, the one.
The one, yeah. So some quick context. Actually, a little bit of a parallel to Fast and Furious here for me in the sense that I watched all of these Mission Impossibles wickedly out of order. I might have,
You and Bran both, right?
Yeah, one
That's
was
right.
one of the very last ones I saw. But to parlay that, I actually also Mission Impossible 1 and Fast and Furious 1, radically different films, but they are similar.
What?
They are similar in the sense that they are very different than the rest of the series. And that obviously when Mission Impossible 1 and Fast and Furious 1 happened, they had no idea that the series, the sagas, would morph into cuckoo banana fest that they eventually become. So there is a weird, interesting parallel there. So when I saw this for the first time, I had a lot of drop shock because, as we'll find out over these weeks, if you're watching Mission Impossible 6 Fallout and then Mission Impossible 1, you're like, these two things do not compute together. But drop shock doesn't mean that it's bad. So especially now, this is only my second viewing ever of this film. This movie's great. Like it's great. It's very, very different than what we are going to spend time together watching for the next 2 months. But it's really good. And even though it's different, I still think it kind of works as ironically and also intentionally as kind of Ethan Hunt's superhero origin story. There's a lot of really cool things done with the camera here. I wouldn't necessarily say, though, again, to my point, that this is like a super heavy action film, sans for the last 15 minutes. And on those last 15 minutes, we're about to see some wild stuff over the next couple months, but because of the limitations of the time, that closing sequence might end up being the most absurd thing we see in some ways. But this is well made. It's well performed. Sets the stage very nicely, even though the stage is going to look radically different every single week, like I said. But I don't know where this will finish in my rankings, Bram, but I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm with you, Ryan. This is a really fun movie. So I started late to the Mission Impossible game. I don't really remember which one was the first one I saw. It might have been 5 or 6. But I then went back and I watched this one. And so this is also my second time watching this movie. And it slaps. It's a great movie. Like, was I surprised when it turned out that Jim Phillips wasn't dead? No, not really. But it's still fun. It's fun in the way that they do it. And like all the little things, like, Ethan Hunt kind of already having the knowledge of what happened because he figured out that the Bible was from the same hotel in Chicago. Like, all of it is so absurd and ridiculous in like the best way. It's exactly what you want out of a movie like this. Super fun. Agree. It is obviously different than what we're going to kind of go into, especially once we get closer to 8, which came out this past weekend. But I'm really excited to make our way through this series because I just want to understand more the context of how this franchise became what it is, and kind of seeing the train scene, to your point, like the helicopter coming into the tunnel and like doing really well in the tunnel. Like the thing that causes the tunnel to explode is not the fact that it hit a tunnel or something. It's the explosive gum.
Yeah.
And so it's just
red light, green light.
Yes. Everything that you think is like, let's just turn it all up to a 10. And so I can see watching that scene for the first time as a filmmaker and just being like, we need to do more of this scene right here and make it as big as possible. And so there's hints of what Mission Impossible will become in this one, but this is still a really just a pure like spy mystery type thing. And so it's really fun. Really liked it. Dano?
Yeah, I love this movie. And contrary to what these two guys, actually not contrary, but these guys hint at how ridiculous this movie is, this is the most airtight of these movies. Now, you're going to find out quickly about me that in the latter half of the Mission Impossible franchise, it's very important to me that they take it seriously. So like as crazy as it gets, I don't want anyone to wink at the camera. So like I'm fine if Tom Cruise wants to surf on asphalt as he's riding a motorcycle, as long as it's not winking, as long as we don't go, we know this is silly and stupid. That's the best. The best Mission Impossible is the one where the stunts are out of control and he looks like he's going to die. But they also take it deadly serious, like the world's like lives are really at stake. This movie as a plot is the most airtight. It is an actual central mystery. At 12 years old, I was floored. I didn't see it coming. It was awesome. It's amazing. Also, because we have 8 of these movies over roughly 30 years, Tom Cruise, the evolution of what's going on in his life and what kind of movies he's choosing does make this even more fun. And just as a little bit of a background, from 86 to 90, he starred in 6 movies. Those movies, you might have heard of them: Top Gun, Color of Money, Cocktail, Rain Man, Born on the 4th of July, Days of Thunder. That's 86 to 90. That's quite a 5-year stretch for him. Most of those very much popcorn movies. After that,
still
he
haunted
basically
by that kiss in Top Gun.
Yeah, you bring it up every time we talk about Top Gun.
It's a haunting piece of cinema.
You'll make it. I think you'll get there. But it is something that's clearly been with you for a long time.
Don't act like it.
We've been watching the movies in the room back there, and every time you see him, almost.
Yeah. Anytime there's a kiss, I'm like, wow. Not Top Gun.
After 90, he's in A Few Good Men, The Firm, Interview with a Vampire. These are dramas. These are Please Give Me an Oscar. These are A Few Good Men's amazing. I love A Few Good Men, but those are movies. So,
you were telling me the other day that I couldn't handle the truth, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
what's the big deal?
Order the Code Red. So when he does Mission Impossible, he is coming off of a 6 years of not doing the Tom Cruise action thing. So this is a franchise. This is Tom Cruise's return to action. And it's also Brian De Palma, who's directed myriad movies, genres of all sorts, all coming together and crushing it as a mystery, as a spy movie, as a movie about the team, all of these things that were very valuable to fans of the TV show, which at the time wasn't that far in the past. People wanted it to be like the TV show. And I think this movie not only checks all the boxes, but kind of reinstitutes Tom Cruise as the blockbuster king. And so this movie's amazing. I think everybody's great in this movie. It works. It is really taut. It's well under 2 hours long. I think it's like an hour 45, but you feel as though you know the characters. You feel as though their motivations make sense to you. And then the action stuff just adds to that. In all honesty, it's going to be hard pressed from a movie making standpoint to beat this one. I know that sounds crazy. There are movies that I think are maybe more entertaining than this movie, but this movie brings it all to the table, and Tom Cruise like re-enters the blockbuster spotlight. And aside from some crazy years where he's on Oprah's couch, is kind of there to stay. So an important movie, a true summer blockbuster.
Stay on the couch either, though.
He didn't stay on the couch. He didn't. That's right. He was in love with that woman. That's what you need to know.
He was in love with the woman.
So like an important movie, like blockbuster, absolutely. Mystery, Mission Impossible, stunts, all of it is amazing. And even this movie where, the biggest stunt is on the train. And I was reading beforehand, doing my research, as I do. Obviously, they couldn't be out on an actual train, but Tom Cruise wanted it to look real. And so they got a green screen, but they brought in 140 mile an hour wind fans, which had never been done before. And so when he's climbing on that train, he's not outside, but the wind is blowing in his face at 140 miles an hour.
Coward.
So even in 96,
get out there, bro.
With the limitations, he was still hell bent on doing as much of it as he possibly could. So yeah, this movie rules. I love this movie. It's timeless. It ages, aside from that last scene where there's clear CGI, it ages really, really well. Big fan.
Let's get to all the feels. We're talking about when this movie gave us feels. We'll start with you, right guy.
Yeah, they had Gordon Bombay say, hasta lasagna, don't get any on
Yeah,
ya.
they did.
And I thought that was one of the better lines ever committed to the
Listen,
brand.
if your feels is not Coach Bombay, I don't know what's wrong with you.
Yep.
It's Coach Bombay, and it's wonderful and magical. On IMDb, he's on there, but it's uncredited.
So we did a
you
bit
did
of a
little
deep dive,
research
which
on.
it could be my fields as well. I don't know if you know this, Rye Guy, but they were in Bombay and Cruz were in a movie called The Outsiders together.
Way back when.
And then Estevez did Young Guns, and Cruz did him a favor and did an uncredited, very short cameo kind of role in that movie, uncredited. So this was kind of a 1-for-1 thing where Tom called him up. We want to kill
Tit
somebody.
for tat.
Yeah. So this is like these are buds kind of thing. That's not confirmed, but that's the working theory on why they exchanged uncredited cameos in the 90s for some
Totally,
reason.
and it is super effective because
You
again,
don't think they're going to kill Bombay?
No, it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, he's the second most famous person or third most famous person in the movie. Like, it's like, so you'd figure he's there the whole time. It was great.
You would think so, but he's
And
not.
what a death. Talk about a PG-13
Totally, yeah, I
death
mean,
that is visceral.
That will
and
also be
sticks
hard
with
to
you.
top for
Yes.
the next 8 of these.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm still holding out hope he's going to come back. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll get to the way, what, and the mission or possible
Ooh,
here
excited
on
about that.
Deck the Hallmark. It's okay. Welcome back, all you little lovebirds out there. Hey,
All
call.
right.
Hey, call someone you love and tell them you love them today.
Wow. All right.
Maybe.
Just take the day off.
Yeah, it is. Take the day off is Memorial Day. Let's get to all the wait what's. It's where we talk about what in this movie made us go wait what. I'll start with you, Rye Guy.
Hold on.
It's
Wait,
okay.
Wait for it.
Oh,
Bren.
hi, it's Bran.
Hey, man, I love you.
Hey, I love you too.
Oh my God.
All right. Bye.
All right, God bless.
You too.
Could have called me, but whatever. No, it's cool. It's cool. Whatever. I'll just be here. It's all right. It's fine. No big deal.
Hey, Dan, I love you too.
No. Don't you come in with that stuff. Am I Cletus? No, I can't be Cletus.
No.
There's no way.
No.
I know this is not a hoot toad nanny.
No, it is not.
No.
Why did he say it like that, you think?
Hoot toad nanny?
Yeah.
Those are just like good old fashioned get together. That's what I've heard from Cletus.
Well, I've always
Good
heard it.
old-fashioned get-together sentences.
I've always heard it as hootenanny.
Hoot toad nanny.
I've always heard hootenanny.
He said hoot toad nanny.
I know he did. You don't have any problem with it.
Here's some more good old-fashioned get-together sentences.
Yeah.
Dude, I just Googled hoot toad nanny, and the first thing that came up was hoot toad nanny Mission Impossible. I don't know if they've been listening to me.
No, it did not.
It did.
Are you joshing?
Now it's gone now, but it was as an option.
Oh, it was gone. Ryan, go ahead.
Go ahead, whatever.
Pen that can shoot out poison just seems too risky. Even I get its usefulness in this line of work, but feels like you could easily forget that your pen shoots out poison.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Brian Harold's calling me.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
This is unbelievable, guys.
Hey, Brian, it's Rye Guy.
Hey, Ryan, you're not busy, right?
No, what's going on, man?
Cool, man. Yeah, I just had this urge to call just to tell you I love you, man.
Oh man, I love you too, man.
Whatever.
thanks, dude.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's
hey,
fine.
hey, Bri,
No,
I
that's
gotta
cool.
talk to Cletus, but I might see you next week.
I'll tell him what's up, okay?
I will. And hey, man, I love you.
Love you too, man. Bye.
All right, bye.
This is.
Dan, did you get a call from Brian?
Listen. Is it hurtful? Yeah, it's hurtful. But whatever, guys. Whatever you guys need to do to feel better about yourself.
Well, we're not
It's
doing
fine.
anything. We're just calling our loved ones
It
and
is.
telling them that
It's-
we love them.
It's unbelievable.
That's all we're doing.
This is unbelievable.
So, a poisoned guy is just casually taking his puke bucket with him to the bathroom like
Yeah.
this has happened before. And then Luther over the headset, like Tom Cruise is there. And by the way, Tom is like, they keep Tom Cruise there doing the angels in the outfield thing
Oh,
for a
it's
while.
classic.
But like Luther's like, he's in the bathroom. Like, yeah, no, obviously.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
where
thanks,
else would
Luth.
he be going?
Yeah.
That got a good chuckle out of me. And then last one for me, as best I can tell, so it's the end of the movie, and Ethan, they want you to think that Ethan just called his parents and, gave them like, hey, this is why everything happened.
Hey,
And
I
like,
love you, etc.
yeah. Then he calls his parents. I just called to say I love you. But they have beers, and Ethan's beer is like 3/4 already finished, and they cheers at the end. So it didn't make sense. Either it was just a big production whiff, or they cheersed at the end of their meeting, which doesn't happen. So that was a movie's not airtight, Dan. Why did Tom Cruise's drink have only 10% liquid in it?
Yeah,
Didn't make
Called
sense.
it. You called it, man.
Yeah.
You got him. You got him.
He called it, but he didn't call you.
Ah.
We're having fun, aren't we?
Yeah.
That's it for me, Brano.
Listen, am I sad that Coach Bombay died? Of course I am. He kind of had it coming, right? Like you could be stationed anywhere, and he said, put me on top of the elevator. Look, what's the worst that could happen? Maybe it's my irrational fear of elevators, but I don't know if you could pay me to get on top of an elevator. Too much can go wrong.
Do you have an irrational fear of elevators?
Yes, for a long time I wouldn't take elevators.
Me too.
When you say, you guys are crazy. When you say,
I was afraid of it getting stuck.
And then it's still there, but like,
how long? When was your first, like, I'm going to choose?
I remember exactly
what.
what it is.
Go ahead.
I remember exactly what it is, and I'll tell you. When I don't remember my age. I want to say I was 9 or 10.
So you don't remember exactly.
What? I remember where. I don't remember
Got it.
the dates.
Got it. I remember exactly when it was, is what you said.
Okay.
And then you're like, I don't remember exactly when it was.
So, for some reason, my dad was gifted Orlando Magic tickets in a suite.
Ooh.
And this was this was big.
You made it all the way till 9 or 10 years old without taking an elevator?
As far as I know. I'm sure someone tricked me. But yeah, and so not the only way to get to the suites, but the most convenient way to get to the suite and the way the rest of my family was going was in the elevator. And so I'm like 9 or 10. I can't take the stairs by myself. And so I had to take the elevator for the magic.
It's for the magic.
For the magic. So all I'm saying is don't be stationed on top of an elevator if you don't want to die. I think like there's always a chance you won't die. But
of all the things in these movies that could cause death, on top of an elevator might not crack the top 100.
How about this one? As much as I love red light, green light gum, and I love it.
Red light, green light.
He has it just loosey-goosey in his pocket.
I brought gum to do red light, green light.
Like, what happened? Like, gum, the thing about gum is, like, it bends and stuff. Like, what happens if you just, like, fall? Like, accidentally, and you got a piece of that junk in there? Like, things could go wrong. That's all I'm saying.
Use the yellow light when thinking about red light, green light.
You just talk to it by those yellow light. Yeah. It doesn't count. Last but not least, at the end, they're in the train, and it finally comes out Jim Phillips is the bad guy, and they're talking about Claire, and he says that to Ethan that he has tasted the goods. Talking about his wife.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that at all. I like the way he said it.
He's the bad guy.
I know. But you just that's icky. I didn't like it. Dan?
I do think they come back around to this in the latter movies, but they show you a lot of this movie in the opening theme song. More than I ever remembered them. It's hard to imagine having not seen it for the first time, but there's some very specific, like they show you the train explosion in this movie in the opening theme song, which I don't want to see that. I would like to be surprised throughout the movie. So it was shocking to me how much they showed you that was going to happen. They pretty much show you points throughout the whole movie that are going to happen. I thought that was pretty crazy.
They actually show Ethan drinking the beer. The first 90% of it.
First 90%.
It's in. So they show it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Ethan, when he gets back to the safe house, lays down broken glass so he'll hear someone, which terrible plan, first of all, in case they come in. But the person that does try to sneak in does him the favor of stepping on that glass, not once, not twice, but 3 times. Can you imagine hitting glass with your feet and going, I'm going to keep this train rolling? What are you doing, dude? Step around, ma'am. Step around the glass.
Yeah.
Like you did it once.
Like your other foot is in the clear. You could just
I
kick
could
it out of the way.
I'm in a hurry. A second one. This person's like, I'm gonna go for third crunch.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go for third crunch. That's gonna be the ticket. 3 crunches is the ticket for sure. If you work at Langley, you get free coffee out of vending machines. All the other vending machines cost money. The coffee's free. I want to know if that's true. That could easily be a What the Hallmark or a Mission or Impossible.
Well, but you said it now, and so you can't text these back.
There's nothing I can do. 3 more quick ones. At one point, Tom Cruise, Ethan Hunt is sitting in front of Max, and he says with all the confidence in the world, I need $150,000. So nothing? You need nothing is what you need. In Austin Powers, they make fun of a guy who's been frozen since the 60s asking for $100,000. In the 90s, 150 is not moving the needle. It was just a weird number to ask for, in my personal opinion. Man, passwords were way simpler back then, weren't they? The most secure password for the knock list is AW96B6, all caps. So they didn't have to worry.
Special character to be found.
There wasn't a second factor authentication. There's none of it. It was just AW96B6, all caps. You're good to go.
For the king.
And I do want to point out, R.I.P. Coach Bombay.
That's right.
R.I.P.
He's our king. That's my king.
Who's my King Bombay. The most secure, untraceable form of covert communication in this film is email.
Yeah.
Is electronic mail. To send something securely and covertly, just an email, just a basic email address is what they use. Nice work, IML.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're good. Let's get to Mission or Impossible. It is where we talk about different things and whether they're mission or impossible. I'll start with you,
Of
Ryan.
course, yeah.
Sure, naturally. Yeah, I'm gonna go impossible this week. Because
Boo.
I also did a little.
Glad you didn't call me.
Research. You're gonna feel bad about name calling once I drop this little tidbit on you. Solo, which we watched a couple weeks ago for Star Wars.
Right.
Yes.
I remember it.
Forcer Friday, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. 16 minutes of credits. This movie, 4 minutes.
Wow.
Just seems
That's right.
insane that
Yeah.
a Mission Impossible movie would have less than 8 minutes of credits.
Well,
And all it is
Solo.
it's just Tom Cruise a bunch of time, and then it just says, and others.
I was commenting to Brand, we were watching a different movie from 15 or 20 years ago, how credits over the last 10 years are just out of bounds crazy. But the Mission Impossible movies all have a number of credits on the front end of their movie.
True.
Which allows them not as much on the back end of their movie. At least that's been my experience. I don't know about the newer ones. So, but yeah, it is crazy that 16 minutes of credits versus 4. That should never be the case because that movie was not worth 16 minutes worth of credits.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good tidbit, Rye. Good
Thank
tidbit.
you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Impossible, if you
Thank
will.
you, Rye.
Thank you.
Mine is very simple.
Mission
and,
or impossible?
Well,
pick it.
I am Mission,
Okay.
first of all.
Yeah, of course you are.
Coward.
And it's because of the mission of the good Lord.
Amen.
This Bible, he took it.
They stamped it, didn't they?
They stamped it.
The
The
Gideons.
they stamped it and they put it in there. How? Maybe I'm not up to date on the process of the Gideon Bible, but if a Gideon Bible gets taken from a hotel, how long does it take for it to be replenished?
I don't know. That is a good question because they want you to take
They
it.
want you to
They
take it.
want
That's
you to
the whole
take it.
thing. And
want
so
you to
I've got
is it-
stacks of them
yeah.
at my house.
Is it? Is it that way? No one can know.
That's right.
No one can
Yeah.
trace it back. It could have been from any of his
Could have been
trips.
from any of my trips.
But I'm definitely
But
not the
I
bad guy.
always take the Bible.
Well, they want you to take it.
They want you to take it.
the
It's
roles.
free.
But is it part of the of housekeeping's job to look and see if Bible is still there? Because then the housekeeper should stamp it.
It's almost like
Like-
people don't take the Bible.
Well, I don't know. That's that. If you, how many times do you need to check if you're housekeeping and part of your job is checking after like the 100th day of someone not taking the Bible? You stop checking.
You
right?
don't check anymore. I can imagine the Gideons come back to that hotel
You
once,
think so?
once every half decade.
Johnny Gideon.
Johnny Gideon shows
Yeah.
up.
Give me some time.
Some Foghorn Leghorn?
No, that's Gideon.
I said.
Different guy. And-
We're the Gideons.
And
You know what's
his-
interesting about Space Jam is they kill Foghorn Leghorn, and then they just keep playing basketball.
Yeah, they
That's
do.
all there is to it.
yeah, featuring the Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. I'm impossible this week, Brand, because I have a question about if something is possible or if it was true in the 90s.
Coward.
Fine, whatever. Call me what you need to. They, on the airplanes in this movie, they smoke, and we did a deep dive on cigarette smoke on
Yes.
airplanes. And technically, if they were flying longer than a 6-hour flight in Europe, smoking would have been allowed in 96. It was banned everywhere else by then. But technically not till 97 was it banned completely. So technically they were within their rights to do that.
I mean, we couldn't possibly have them not smoke for that long, right?
That- 6
We got-
hours? Those rats,
kidding me?
they're going to go crazy.
They're gonna jump out of the plane.
So my question is, did they really? I flew plane. Like I was on a plane. My first
You
trip
used
on
to
a
fly
plane.
He was a
planes?
pilot.
Yeah, I was a pilot. if you
That's
can
why I
believe it.
salute him every day.
That's right.
I walk in and I say, sir.
On Memorial Day, nonetheless.
I know.
We'll take it out. We'll take it out in post.
I don't think we will.
It's easy. I never remember a cigarette being smoked on a plane, and I also don't remember little mini screens and VHS tapes, little mini cassettes.
Yeah.
On this plane at the end of this movie, they infer that you can watch full-length movies on little baby screens.
He was in first class, though.
He was, but still, I'm fine.
Which, I mean, we're not first class.
We're not first-class boys. Little screens with little cassette tapes that have a VHS
That's right.
length movie on it. I have to believe that that's not a real thing, but I know so little about flying at that time that I want to know, was it a real thing?
Despite being the pilot among us,
Yeah.
you don't know.
That's right. Yeah.
One more.
That's
Give
it.
it
That's all I
to
got.
him one more. There he is. We did it, everybody. Congratulations to us. This is what we're going to do. We're going to come back next week. We're gonna
week.
We're gonna kick
Dude,
off.
yeah, we're gonna kick it a whole week.
kick off June. I think it'll
Yeah.
be June. Yes, it'll be June.
It'll be June.
We're gonna kick off June with Mission Impossible 2. Ryan will be here.
Hold on. I'm getting a call, and I'm half think he's just gonna hang up. So I don't know. Should
Who's
I?
calling you?
Hello?
Hey, Dan, it's Rye Guy.
Right, how's it going, man?
Good, man. Real quick, you don't have anything going on, right?
No, I'm good. I'm wide open right now.
And may
right,
we
just
be
real-
the first to wish you a Merry
Merry
Christmas!
The Hallmarks of Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.